Hey guys, how are you doing? My name is Art. Welcome back. You probably see right here, there's a lot of stuff here. And I didn't know exactly how I wanted to do this video, but I decided to do this in one big shebang. Okay? This weekend was the Motor City Comic Con Fall Edition. Had a lot of celebrities and a lot of comic book guests. Like the biggest one was like Robert Englund, who's Freddy. Priscilla Presley, which is interesting. Andy Serkis was there as well. John Rhys Davis. John Cusack was there as well. It was kind of interesting. Barry Bostwick, I remember him. John Cleese was another big one. But, you know, those are the big ones that I know of. But did I really go see them? No, I didn't. So what did I do? So what happens? I bought the 3-day pass. My goal was to go Friday and Sunday. My goal was to go Friday and Sunday. And as I did. Saturday was an iffy day if I felt like it. Friday is a good day because everybody's in school. And it doesn't get busy until maybe 2:30, 3 o'clock. And by that time I'm done anyway. Saturday is the worst day, which is the most busiest day. And Sunday, it was more along the lines of it's not as busy, but it's still a lot of people. So, Fall Edition's in the books. Saturday, I went to pick up my comics, my regular comics. So, we're going to start off with that first. First is this free AEW DC thing. If you watched wrestling, especially AEW, they've been posting this, and basically, I was like, what the hell is this? Because I saw this, but I didn't really notice it. And then I realized these are quote unquote origin stories for these people, for some of these wrestlers. So, did I read it? Yet no. The hilarious thing is this was free. I picked up 2 copies. One vendor at the comic book show was trying to sell these for $7 a piece. I'm like, no, that's free. So first thing we got is All-Star Superman. I'm sorry, Absolute Superman. I heard this is a banger. My regular store, I have not seen Radiant Black in months, and all of a sudden I got 2 of these. So I don't know what's going on. I don't even remember the last Radiant Black I read because I haven't seen it. And now the funny thing is, I usually pick my books up once a month. So I must have skipped a month somehow, maybe. But anyway, got X Factor number 4, X Force number 5. Yeah, number 5. King Spawn 38, King Spawn 39. Like I said, my regular store. Well, it was my main store, but the only thing they put in your pull box is Independence. No DC. They don't carry DC, and they don't put Marvel in your pull box. So, the independent titles usually comes with no problem. So, how I have 2 King Spawns, 2 issues of King Spawn, is because somehow I missed a month, and I don't remember how I did that. 357 of Spawn and 358. And the funny thing is, I just finished reading the rest of the stuff I had before. Scorch 34, Scorch 35. Yeah. X-Men number 7. The best Spawn comic book out these days, Gunslinger Spawn 38, 37, and 38. Oh, 36 and 37. Man. Yeah, I'm kind of tired. And Star Wars: The Battle for Jakku Insurgency Rising #4. Picked up Retro Cobra Commander with the vac metal helmet where you can almost see your reflection. So that was cool. Whew. All right. So that was that Saturday. I picked that up. So let's start with the easiest thing for the con. For one of my favorite vendors, he does a lot of wrestling based stuff, but he throws it in comic book style. So here's All Eagle Ethan Page with like a little not a magnet, but like a little bookmark kind of thing. Thought that was pretty neat. From TNT Authentics, mystery wrestling autograph, and we got Rhino and Heath Slater, which is JSA authenticated. So these are legit. Rhino has just been inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame, which I did a video of the pay-per-view in Detroit, Bound for Glory, where he was inducted, which is also his hometown. Have I ever met him around no, never. So one of the things I usually do for Comic-Cons is always get books signed. So let's talk about the books I didn't get signed. Okay, this is a list of books that I didn't get signed, and this is a list of books I did get signed. So if you add them together, that's how many books I was thinking about. And the thing about it, because what happens is that whenever there's an artist or a writer that about to go to I always try to grab enough books for them just in case to figure out which ones I really want. And the thing is that I scoured my whole collection, and believe me, that was a rough couple of days. And there were some things I missed, but I don't know what happened. Couldn't tell you. So we got Silver Surfer Rebirth #2, 3, and 4 not signed. Ron Mars was the writer and Ron Lim was the artist. I was going to have all 4 of these signed, but I decided, after a while, no. And the reason why, because they're $10 per autograph. $10 per autograph. So for this, that means I have $20 autograph for. Let me break it down. Let's break it down for a second. So let's say, for example, an artist, the usual rate for them to sign an autograph is usually set around $10 per book. Now, if you want it authenticated, saying that it was witnessed, then it becomes $20. So this Silver Surfer Rebirth 4-part series, for both of them autographed, for both Ron Mars and Ron Lim to autograph it, would have been $80. Then add $10 for every book upon that. Well, do they charge you $10 per book or $10 extra? I'm not exactly sure, but I thought it was kind of dumb to have so for it to be witnessed. You're going to charge me $10 extra. I think it was $10 extra each book. So it'd been $30, so $120 for all 40s. I'm like, seriously? But then again, now that's for the consumer part. That's kind of like, what the hell? But since these are double signed, you can get them graded from CGC, CBS, or whatever, and then you can charge $100 a book. And I get it. I get it. Trust me, I get both sides. A lot of artists and writers, like, you making more money off of my book than I did. Well, they made a lot of money, but if you're gonna make a profit off of this, I'm gonna charge you more. And I think that's kind of wrong, but then again, business is business. Green Lantern 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, and 106, written by Ron Marz. And I was thinking about getting these signed, and I had them ready, but I thought about it. Decided not to. Now, these are some good ones. The early 2000s, a new comic book company called Cross Gen came out. The Path prequel, written by Ron Marz. The Path 1, written by Ron Marz. Mystic #1, this is a customer preview copy, written by Ron Marz. And one of my favorite ones, Sojourn, out of this whole set, written by Ron Marz. I decided not to have signed. Maybe in the future, if Ron Marz comes back again, and the reason why I decided not to is because if he comes back again, boom, here we go. We got something. Tim Seeley. Frontline, he did something of this. And I was like, nah. Even though I love this series, Frontline. I loved it a lot. The cover's cool. But I was like, nah. Get it just in case. And it's just in case. So, like, for example, if an artist or a writer, I try to get at least 10 books. But then again, you think about that's $100. Out of that $100, what you gonna do? And the reason why, because going through all my whole collection, I don't know how many it is, because it's not really cataloged like that. Since it's not really cataloged like that, I don't really know. So it's like, I'd rather be safe than sorry. So I pulled 10 to 12 books for each person if I can. And that's how it is. And for Ron Lim, Thanos 8, 9, 10, and 11 from the Samaritan storyline. I was going to have him sign these, and I thought about it, and I said, nah. I got enough signed. I mean, because think about it. I thought about it. If I did this, that means only thing I go into the con is getting books signed, and that's it. I can't buy anything else. Only thing I could buy is books signed, which is cool, but this is for my own personal collection. This is for my personal collection. I don't plan on selling this. But then again, you know, say for example, if I passed away and they decide to sell it, yeah, they don't know that it might be worth something. So let's talk about the stuff I did get. Let's talk about the stuff I did get signed. Or should I wait? Or should I wait? Should I wait for that? Yes, let's wait for that. Let's talk about some graphic novels I bought. I bought this stack of graphic novels, all G.I. Joe. These are not the Marvel G.I. Joe, and this is not the Image G.I. Joe that I know of. These are from IDW, which I don't have. So we got Homefront #1 storyline, graphic novel. And the thing is one of the comic book stores I go to is called Warp 9. The old owner of that sells comic books at cons. And he goes to New York City Comic Con, San Diego, and sells books. But then again, he sells these for $10. So I'm like, plus since I know the guy and he knows who I am, hey, $10 is fine. Cobra Civil War #1. G.I. Joe Volume 4. Now the thing is, I have no idea of these. I know these are not individual stories, like these like disconnected, whatever. Cobra Command #1. Special Mentions #2. And G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, the main line, #2 and #20. I stopped trying to collect the Marvel. I stopped collecting the Marvel one because it's expensive to try to get every single book. And I got 40% of the Real American Hero line. Well, I'll say about 40% of 155 issues. So I got about 40 issues of that. Somewhat 40, 50 issues. So, yo, hey. From regular vendors, New Mutants 32. And these were half off. Thor 291. Thor 292. And I do recognize these sellers, and they show up at certain cons. So every time they're there, I always try to buy at least 20 bucks worth in that. All the books I bought for them. Let's see. Thor 400. Should have picked up the other one, another one, but that's a different story. Fantastic Four 326. Fantastic Four 327. And Fantastic Four 358. I think I had this one, but I'm not too sure. All this, it was half off, so 20 bucks. So I was like, okay, 13. It's actually 13. He only charged me 13, which is cool. A local vendor, a very local vendor, which I go to their store every so often. Not a lot. And the reason why, because parking there is atrocious unless it's a weekday. So I picked up X-Men 329 and X-Men 330. And every time they show up, I always buy something for them. So I don't go to their store very often, so that's fine. And for this other kind of local vendor, which I see him at every show, his books was half off today, so I picked up Thanos Infinity Watch and Absolute Batman #1, which which I could not find for some strange reason. So, boom. I can't believe that. I can't believe I'm almost done. But before we go to the next spot, which is all the books I got signed, I have 2 videos coming up about the con. So you get to see what the con looks like. The problem is that I try to show a lot of the things that people sell there, but then again, people talking a lot, kids screaming and yelling, and it's like, ew. But anyway, I try to do a good job with that, and this time is different. So I'm going to show you that. And I did another one today. So that one's going to be a little bit shorter. Maybe like 15-20 minutes. And I got tired. So here we go. One of the artists, his name was Michael Golden from the 80s. One of the biggest things that he did a lot of Star Wars comic books from the 80s. Yes, there were Star Wars comic books in the 80s from Marvel. And they were pretty decent in my opinion, because I collected a lot of them. He did a lot of the artwork. He was the most weirdest prices I ever seen. But I didn't want him to do my Star Wars. I didn't want him to do any Star Wars because a lot of my Star Wars books are kind of jacked up. So I said, hey, I got an idea. The Nom. Yes, he did the Nom. I said, I got at least 2 or 3 issues of that. Went through my whole collection, could not find it. I can't find it. I know I saw it. Funny thing is, I know I saw it about a year or so ago. I know I saw it. But I don't know where it is. I bet you I might find it a couple months later. So here it is right here. But I had to buy these separately just so I can get him to sign. And believe me, tell you the truth, I'm kind of bittersweet on this. I'm kind of bittersweet. He charged me $30 to sign this and $20 to sign this, the first 2 issues. So it cost me $50 to sign the first 2 issues. And then he said, if you want it certified, that's a $5 extra. And I'm thinking to myself, if you're going to charge me $30 to sign this, it should come for free. The certification should be free because you're just made a killing off of this. But the funny thing, now here's the funny thing is, Friday, I was the second, when I first got there, I got there a little bit about, they started 12 noon, I got there like 1. There was only 2 people online, and I was one of the 2 people. So I don't know how much traffic he had. Maybe he made it up for it on Saturday. But I tell you one thing, today, no one was at his table. So maybe if you wouldn't charge so much, people would be a little bit more coming to you, maybe. I don't know. See, like I said, since I wasn't there Saturday, I don't know. But, I mean, he was a cool guy, but I'm like, charging me $50 to sign both of these? Wow. Personally, the certification should have been free because you charged me more money for that. And it wasn't even witnessed. So I'm like, okay. Now, let's talk about Ron Lim. I did get Thanos 7 signed by Ron Lim, the first part of the Samaritan storyline. I like this. Silver Surfer Rebirth #1, both signed by Ron Lim and Ron Mars. And one of my favorite, Cosmic Powers, double signed. Ron Mars, 48. He signed this. Now, years ago, I met Ron Banks, the guy who drew it. He signed it, so I got this double signed. Double signed. Ron Banks. And he was like, man, he really put it in the wrong prime spots. 51 and 100. So I'm definitely getting these. I'm definitely getting these graded. Definitely. Tim Seeley. Tim Seeley was awesome. When I say he was awesome, he was totally awesome. He does Local Man, and he signed this 1 and 2 for me. And he said, because he saw this, said, oh, you met Tony Flex? He goes, yeah, he was here in May. He was like, oh man, that's cool. He also signed my Turtles of Grayskull. Because I believe he signed my... Did he sign the... Yeah, he did sign the Masters of the Universe versus Injustice years ago. And the funny thing is, these were free. He goes, I don't charge for my autographs. I'm like, cool. And he said, I'd rather you buy a book. So, bought Hack and Slash for $20. He signed it. I heard of this. I heard this story was pretty cool, but hey, whatever. Whenever I support more artists like that, who's like, okay, if you, I mean, it's like this. If you make it reasonable, that's fine. But you know, personally, you got paid a lot of money for your books anyway. But like I said, I do understand it. On one side, as a consumer, charging me for your autograph, because what happens? You get paid to come here. You get paid to come here. Someone pays you to come here. Otherwise, you wouldn't show up if there's no one. Imagine you show up and no one's there. You still get paid to show up. And then you basically, this is like on top of that. I think you might, I don't know how that works, but on the other hand, I could say, hey, this is double signed. $50. I could see it. Next is Charles Soule. Charles Soule, he did this. He was here a year ago, and he signed 3 of my 8 Billion Genies books. So and the funny thing was, that day I come home after I got my book signed. I come home and I read this, not realizing that he wrote it, because I could have got this signed back then. But he said, "Oh wow, I'm glad you get it signed now." Now here's the thing: the first book is $5. Wait, no, the first book is free, and then every book after that is $5. Number 2, number 3, and the thing is, because if I didn't known that, I would have had more. I would have had more of his stuff. But now, since I know, okay, and he also signed my Star Wars #1. So the first book, the first signature is free, and every signature after that is $5. So this is a little bit longer video than I normally do, because it's big, huge. Instead of making 2 videos, because I got other 2 videos coming up for that. I don't know when I'm gonna drop it, but anyway, now I can actually cut this off. Oh, there it is. Now I can actually cut this off and relax. Since I'm on vacation, I have 1 week to do whatever I want, but I still got work to do. I got work around the house, which is fine. That's being an adult. The funny thing, one quick story. There's a HasLab called the Hiss Tank from the Cobra Hiss, G.I. Joe. It's a nice looking thing. It's very nice looking. And 2 vendors had it for $600. One in the box with everything, with the 3 figures. Actually, it's supposed to be 4. It should be 4 figures, because it comes with a Cobra Commander. So it should be with everything. $600. The crowdfunding or that crowdfunding was $300. I missed out on it. So now if I want it, it's $600, which is fine. I looked at it. One guy had another one loose, just the tank itself, nothing else. Tank and the tank accessory for $400. I looked at it. I said, And all weekend, I was like, And I said, if it's going to be there Sunday, I will pick it up. I'm going to pick it up. Now, here's a hilarious part. I thought about it. It's November. Winter is right around the corner. And winters in Michigan is not usually that bad, but it can get pretty bad. And the thing is, maybe I should buy new tires instead. So I did the adult thing and decided I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to buy it. If it's there around next year, I'll find out. I'll do it next year. But new tires is a little bit more important. So that's what I'm doing. So, but since I made that decision, I decided to go ask them anyway. One guy, Cash App. I had a credit card. Because I had a credit card. The other guy, he says, "Oh, I got the Dragonfly," which is the Dragonfly helicopter from G.I. Joe. I jumped on that one, so that's mine is on its way. It's not here yet, but it's on its way. Some people got theirs already, so mine is on its way. So I paid $300, was $350 for that. He was trying to sell that for $800. Cash app. No credit card. So even if I really wanted that, I would have to do one or two things. I had to run to my bank, take out. There's ATMs there. I'll have to run to my bank to take out 600. Well, I do have Cash App, but the problem is that I'm like, because Friday morning I got paid. I paid my bills. Then I took out $300 to go to the con. So basically, I spent a little over $300 this whole weekend because I found out I had some money left over somewhere from the last con. So the thing is that, you know, being an adult won out, because I look up and it's like, if I bought the His tank and realized that, you know, I go without buying new tires, I would be kicking myself. Sometimes being an adult, responsible adult, it sucks, but it's well worth it. With that being said, thanks very much for watching. Thanks for listening. You know, if you liked anything that you saw here, let me know. If you like getting your if you have comic books, you like getting them signed, going to cons and getting them signed, let me know down below. Let me know which kinds of stuff you had get signed. Let me know down below. I was thinking about doing all the books I got signed, but I got them stashed in all these different places. I might do that one day. But anyway, thanks very much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in another one soon.